Hi, my name is York, and I gave myself a little makeover. Do you like it? Please say yes. I spent far too long designing, drawing, and rigging this thing. But despite my new look, I'm still in Lucifer's office because I don't know how to draw backgrounds. So anyway, today I'm here to talk about something new. What? Something new? On my Obey Me channel? It's more likely than you think. Today's topic is still related to Obey Me in a way. We're going to talk about Arcana Twilight. So, I'd never actually heard of this game until one of you viewers suggested that I take a look at it and talk about it. They didn't tell me a single thing about it, but the very cryptic "you'll see what I mean" in the comment really piqued my interest, and, well, I definitely saw what you meant. Immediately. So, what's Arcana Twilight? Arcana Twilight is a Korean Otome game by Story Taco that was released in Korea in May of 2022 and worldwide in August of 2022. In this game, you can get romantic with 6 sorcerers in a place called Bound Arlen. The 6 love interests are Arcturus, Vega, Sirius, Spiker, Alpharats, and Pollux. And fun fact, all of the voice actors provided voices in the Korean version of Cookie Run Kingdom, and Spiker's voice actor also played Han Jamin from Mystic Messenger. We play as someone the love interest referred to as the Summoner, and the game starts off with us finding ourselves waking up in Bound Arlen with no memory of how we got there or even our life before that. As we're getting our bearings, a monster comes out to attack us, but somehow, we manage to summon the sorcerer Arcturus. He drives off the monster and decides to bring us back to Contel, which is a school of sorcery, and he introduces us to the other love interests who make up the guide committee. On the surface, it sounds like an interesting premise, but it's actually a lot more familiar than we think. It shares a couple story devices with the original Obey Me game, but more than just the story points. Every feature of this game feels like a straight Obey Me ripoff. Now, don't get me wrong, Somme didn't reinvent the wheel when they made Obey Me, and of course, gacha Otome games are going to share similarities with one another. The whole point in a game being classified into a genre is that it follows certain formulas and mechanics, but Arcana Twilight is no coincidence. Everything about the game, bar the character design, seems like a carbon copy. Allegedly, in my opinion, please don't sue me, I don't have any money. So I decided to download and play this mysterious game suggested to me, and the first thing I thought when I opened the game was, why do I need to watch an ad before I even get into the goddamn title screen? And then I uninstalled it. I'm not even kidding. I wish I was. Then I reinstalled it because I said I was going to investigate, so I reinstalled the game, got past the ad, got past the title screen, and then my first thought was, did I open the wrong game? So, this looks familiar, doesn't it? And it's not just the home screen that looks familiar. Almost every single feature in this game is near identical to Obey Me, and I'll be showing you in great depth, so you'd better buckle up. We have one of the characters standing to the left against the generic background, both of which are purple, and this character will say a few different phrases if you tap on him. To the right we have all of our apps all clumped together in a rectangle, and to the left there are a few other features. Our energy, money, and special currency are at the top towards the centre of the screen in the exact same order. Our level is at the top left, and the settings are at the top right. It's also worth mentioning that occasionally a little speech bubble will appear beside the character on your home screen, and when you tap it you'll be taken to this screen. Seem familiar? Yep, that's just surprise guest. It's entirely the same concept, including the fact that you can be randomly taken to this screen after winning a battle stage as well. You have 3 attempts to interact with the character by tapping them, petting them, or giving them gifts. For the gifts there are 3 separate categories, just like Obey Me. And the character's preferences will be highlighted with a sparkle, just like Obey Me. And if you manage to interact with them in a way that they like, you will have a chance of receiving a gift from them. Just like... well, you get the idea. I mean it when I say I wish it was just these 2 features that were alike, but honestly it just keeps going. let's take a look at one of the most important features in the game, the gacha system and cards. Now, like I said, gacha games are, of course, going to have similarities, but the cards don't have to look almost identical in their format. This is how an Obey Me card looks. They have the character in the center, the power type in the top left, card rarity at the bottom left, and a black banner with a fairly low opacity at a diagonal with the character's name and star ranking underneath. And Arcana Twilight, well, it's the same. Now, before you go saying they're not that alike, let me show you something, okay? If I remove the characters and names from these cards, it's harder to tell them apart. For someone who isn't a fan of one or both of these games, they're going to struggle to know the difference. And it's not as if cards in gacha Otome games have to look like this. I'm going to show you some cards from a few different Otome games. As you can see, they're all distinct from one another and set themselves apart. Now I'm going to show you Arcana Twilight and Obey Me again. Yep, if it weren't for Obey Me having a fancier border with a spiderweb on it, I probably wouldn't have any clue which one comes from which game. Moving on from the design, here's the system in which you pull cards, and then I'll show you how to upgrade and level them up. Pulling the cards is a standard affair for these gacha games. You know, use a special currency to pull one card at a time, or you can pull 10 to be guaranteed a card that's 4 stars or higher. You even get to draw a little constellation in Arcana Twilight, which I kind of like, but you can skip it if you don't want to do that. But this kind of looks familiar too, yeah? So these are the 3 permanent banners. This is the Constellation Room, where you can pull Sorcerer cards, which are the main cards you use for battles. Don't worry, I'll get to that. This is the Wish Room, where you pull memory cards, wish cards. These are the secondary cards that you use in battle stages. And this is the Possession Room. Oh, I'm sorry. The Possession Room. Where you can pull special items used to level up your cards, and this takes regular currency rather than special currency. I'll give you a moment to weigh out the differences and similarities. And now we have upgrading and leveling our new cards. Cards can be leveled through battle or with the in-game currency. Upgrading is a bit more like this. Oh wait, that's the wrong screenshot, my bad. Like this. See what I mean here? Through this skill tree, you can use items and money to upgrade the card's attributes, earn items and extras, and at the end of it, you can even transform the art of your card as well. Now, you may have noticed on the card upgrade screen here that there are 2 other options besides your Sorcerer and Wish cards. Those are your piece collections, and if you've played Obey Me, you know exactly what this is. You can collect card pieces, and once you've collected enough, you can put them together to make a full card. I'll say Arcana Twilight is a little more generous though, only needing 60 pieces instead of Obey Me's 80. So with the same home screen layout, surprise guest feature and card system, it's starting to look a little bit more suspicious now, isn't it? And I'm still nowhere near finished. Okay, so I've talked about cards. I think it's time to talk about the stages and the story. So in Obey Me, we have lessons, and in Arcana Twilight, they're called floors. In both games, the floors/lessons are divided between story chapters and battle stages. The story chapters are the standard visual novel aspect where the story of the game takes place, and the battle stages are identical. Not kidding! In both battles, you're required to choose 3 primary cards, these being demon cards for Obey Me and sorcerer cards for Arcana Twilight, and 3 secondary cards, which are called memory cards or wish cards. By default, the game will automatically choose the most effective cards for each battle, but you can swap them out and even make your own teams in each game. The goal is to have a combined strength to defeat the enemies with your cards. The enemy's total strength is shown on the right of the screen, and your total strength is shown on the left above your cards. And in both games, there's a little smiley face next to your strength to let you know how likely it is for you to be able to beat your opponent. If the face is super happy, you can skip the battle altogether. Can't really make this up. Story tackle, there was no need to copy Mr. Smiles, okay? He's actually like my favourite Obey Me character. You can also give your cards a little boost with items. Glow sticks for Obey Me, and for Arcana Twilight it's Amplifier Stones. And of course, both come in specific colours pertaining to each character, or in a rainbow, which can be used on any character and is slightly stronger. And then once you're ready, it's time to begin the battle. I'm going to show you both an Obey Me battle and an Arcana Twilight battle side by side, and I want you to tell me the difference. Did you spot the difference? Yeah, me neither. Aside from the extra feature of Obey Me, where you can get more points by gathering the hearts that appear on the screen, there essentially is no difference. I couldn't believe this when I played Arcana Twilight. It really does feel like a watered down version of Obey Me. Especially if I include that Arcana Twilight and Obey Me both have hard mode stages that do the exact same things. Oh look, it's the same background image as the normal mode chapters, but dark. Oh look, you can unlock an extra bit of story if you complete the hard mode battles. Oh look, if you want to do quick clear for hard mode battles later, you can only do each stage 3 times a day instead of the unlimited amount of the normal stage. I mean, it honestly feels like they're not even trying to be original. Okay, so that's the battle. What about the story? Well, I'm unhappy to report that some of the story is similar too. Not all of it, mind you. Arcana Twilight does have its own story, but it's hard to ignore the few similar elements. So I actually managed to finish Arcana Twilight in just 3 days. I downloaded it on the Saturday evening, gave it a quick pour over and decided that yes, I want to talk about this game, but didn't actually start playing it properly until the Sunday morning, and I completed the story on Tuesday afternoon. A few spoilers for both Obey Me and Arcana Twilight ahead. I'll be sure to put a timestamp so you can skip all of this if you wish. I have the complete story of Obey Me uploaded to my channel in case you don't know and would like to watch. And I don't know if anyone's interested. I guess I can post Arcana Twilight on here at some point too, since I've already completed it. So if you don't want to hear the spoilers, then click to the timestamp here. I'm not going to get into the proper ins and outs of each story, but to summarise the plot points that are similar or the same. In both games, you are teleported to another world and become an exchange student at the local school. You also gain the power to summon a love interest through a consensual contract. In Obey Me, this is called a pact, and in Arcana Twilight, it's called an imprint. Both games also feature a reveal that the main character is actually more closely related to the love interest than we initially thought. In Obey Me, it is revealed that we are the distant descendant of Lilith, the younger sister of the Demon Brothers, after Lilith was reincarnated to be a human when Lucifer begged Diavolo to save her following her fatal injury in the Celestial War, and she went on to live a normal life. In Arcana Twilight, it is revealed that we are no ordinary human and instead a reincarnation of the great sorcerer Polaris. Polaris was essentially reincarnated and sent to Earth Midheim, which is the normal human world, by Sirius following the Great Disaster. And both games end with the main character being sent back to where they came from. So yeah, as you can see, there's definitely some similarity, though Arcana Twilight's story does stand on its own otherwise. So that's all of the big features out of the way. Now I can talk about the little features and how identical they are. First, let's talk about sending the characters to work to earn money and items. This is literally exactly the same concept. There is a map with various locations where you can send 1 or 2 characters to work at a time. The characters that are more effective at the job will have sparkles around them, and you get better rewards for it. You can unlock the rest of the locations by sending them to work a certain amount of times, and each new location yields more money but takes more time for the characters to complete. You can only send 3 characters to work at a time, unless you buy the VIP package and unlock the 2 extra slots. Yes, that's for both games. And in both games, you even get the opportunity to spy on the characters at work. There really is no difference between the 2 games here at all, besides that you can speed up time in Arcana Twilight by watching an ad. They even used a similar bouncing animation for the chibi heads while they go to work as well. It's feeling like pure laziness to me. Next is the feature known as the diary, but to you and I Obey Me players, this is Devilgram. Its format might look a little different, but it's the exact same premise. You unlock these diary entries, which are side stories involving the characters, by summoning SSR cards from the gacha, and each card has 4 chapters. You can always read the first chapter for free, but the rest requires story keys, just like in Obey Me. And then there's the chat system. It's not uncommon nowadays for Otome games to have the love interest send you messages from time to time and involve you in group chats where you will have an option to send a reply from a list and see their reactions. Nothing new in that department, but what Obey Me does have is spy chat rooms, where you can see the other characters having conversations with each other without knowing that you're reading what they're saying, and therefore you don't have the option to respond or anything. And now, what if I told you Arcana Twilight has the exact same thing? Another common mechanic of this genre of game is to be able to dress up your favourite love interests. Nothing wrong with Arcana Twilight including this too, of course, but come on, this is just Magilish. Being able to change their clothes, change the background, and listen to voice lines through here that you unlock from leveling up cards? Come on now, it's getting a bit silly. And this page also allows you to read the student ID of the characters as well. The store also looked kind of similar, especially the item store and exchange where you can find all the same items from card pieces, clothes for the characters, their favourite food and gifts, items to boost your cards during battles, tickets to use in the gacha, and story keys. And even the VIP perks are pretty similar. Now, there's nothing wrong with games having daily missions to earn some extra items and special currency, but my god does this look exactly the same. Even having milestone missions with each of the characters. They didn't even lay it out differently. And I'll just quickly reel off all the other small similarities that I've noticed. MC is represented by an animal. For Obey Me, it's a sheep, and for Arcana Twilight, it's a polar bear. MC gets given a device similar to a phone, and after 2 story chapters, they have a tutorial phone call from one of the other characters. There's no root system. The MC is gender neutral, although in Arcana Twilight they do seem to say she from time to time, but I'm pretty sure they're meant to be gender neutral. And the last small thing that I've noticed is that you can only choose from 2 default icons, unless you unlock more from the card skill trees. And I'm honestly certain that if Akuba was a feature at launch of Obey Me, Arcana Twilight would have had that too. So, is Arcana Twilight a shameless clone made to capitalise on the success of Obey Me, which came out 2 years beforehand? The unoriginality of the UI paired with the amount of ads forced onto you in the game and the copious amounts of spelling and grammar errors, especially towards the end of the game, makes it feel like a complete cash grab. But there are a few differences in this game worth mentioning. Like I said, the story, while it shares 1 or 2 similar elements, has its own distinct plot overall, and even includes the presence of a villain, which is something Obey Me lacks aside from Lesson 16. While Obey Me's themes centre around creating bonds, family, and uniting worlds, Arcana Twilight's themes centre around purpose, past decisions, and identity, and not just for the MC but for a few of the love interests as well. The character designs are pretty unique and their personalities stand out from Obey Me, and I'm sure you've heard throughout the video that the music has its own vibe too. And Arcana Twilight is slightly more generous with its rewards. You have the option to watch additional ads to earn money and items, speed up jobs, and gain double rewards if you want to, and if you manage to get 3 stars for every battle on each floor, you're rewarded with a lot of crystals, and these crystals are actually the reason I managed to finish the game so quickly. I used them to summon 3 SSR Sorcerer cards and 2 SSR Wish cards, and then basically only spent them to level up and increase the skills of those cards by either exchanging the crystals for money or energy. For all intents and purposes, the game works well. It's completely functional aside from the grammar mistakes, so it's obvious that Story Taco know how to make a game, so why not just make it their own? The problem isn't the presence of the features, but the way they look and behave. I would understand if it was 1 or 2 of the features that look similar, but as I've shown you, it's far more than that, and it can't really be chalked up to being a coincidence anymore. I honestly think that if Story Taco had simply done their own thing, by at least changing the UI for most of the features and taking more care while writing the story, making it flow better and fixing all of the grammar and spelling mistakes, then this game would have had a lot more success and wouldn't have been labelled as a shameless clone. But what do you think? Do you think I'm being overly critical, or do you agree that Arcana Twilight is just a palette swap to Obey Me? Let me know your opinions in the comments, and if you have any more suggestions on what I should talk about, please let me know as well. If you watched the video all the way, thank you for watching, and I'll see you whatever I make next.